Hi, I'm Sharon Bill. Welcome to my Theory Tuition series where we're working together step by step through each of the ABRSM theory grades. There are lots of resources available to help you on my website. If you visit sharonbill.com, you'll find some free PDF information sheets and you can download those in US letter or A4 and they accompany each step of this series. There's a page there with links to all of my YouTube video tutorials, and you can also find information about the books that I've made available. I've written how to take your ABRSM Music Theory exam. It's full of tips and techniques on how to best prepare for your exam and also how to make the best use of your time when you're working through your paper on exam day. So if you go to sharonbill.com, you'll find it all there. If you can give me a like, that would be super, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. I have lots more in store. And now we're going to continue with the next page of this grade 5 sample paper Y. This is a sample paper provided for free. You can download that from the ABRSM website and you'll find the link to that in the description below, and it's showing you what the newly revised exam papers look like from 2018 onwards. The main differences are that there are no rhythm composition questions at all, and there's no choral score writing either. However, all the other information is exactly the same. They've just sort of revamped the layout of the paper a bit. So let's move on to page 3. And we'll have a crack at these intervals. So these are melodic intervals, one coming after the other. We're always counting upwards, no matter which way the interval comes. You always count from the lowest note, and you always treat this lowest note as your key note and then work from there. So the first job is to count the numbers. So we've got this as our given note, we count as 1, the first step, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we know that it's a 4, so that's half mark straight away. And then D to G natural would be perfect. However, we've raised that perfect interval, we've augmented it from G natural to G sharp, and so that's an augmented fourth. When you augment something, you make it bigger. And because there's no major minor scenario in perfect, fourth, fifth and octaves, we go straight to augmented. So then here we've got 1, 2, 3. So straight away that's half of it done. It's a third. We've got a G here. We've got an F sharp in the key signature, but there's no F in either of these two notes. So that doesn't really form part of our thinking here. However, G, A, B, B is part of G major scale, and so that's a major third. Let's carry on. So first of all, let's get the counting done. Now you can either count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or when it goes line to line or space to space, it's 1, 3, 5, 7. You can quickly get there, 1, 3. So 1, 3, 5, 7, we know it's a seventh. Now then, it's a bit tricky thinking about whether we're in the key of G sharp major, G sharp minor and so on. And so I suggest you start first of all thinking in the key of G major, and then we'll worry about the sharp in a second. So let's just look at that. So in G major, F sharp would be a major seventh because F sharp is part of G major scale. We have an F natural here, so we've gone from major to minor. We've made it smaller from major to minor. However, the bottom note is a G sharp, so we've gone from minor, and then we've made the bottom note higher by a semitone, which has made the interval smaller again by a semitone, so we've actually gone now to diminished. So the process of thinking is major, minor, diminished. We've kept making that interval smaller by semitones, and so that's a diminished seventh. There we go. Now here straight away we can see that we've already exceeded an octave, so I'm going to just jump this ahead up an octave, and then we can call it a compound interval, and that way I know that fourths, fifths and so on are going to be perfect. I haven't got a new set of numbers to learn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 takes us to this D here. So we've got a key signature of F, C, G sharps. However, the notes that we've got here are D to A. So none of those sharps are active on any of these notes here. So D to A is a perfect fifth, and because of the octave jump, it's a compound perfect fifth. Alternatively, you could just count 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, 12 and call that a perfect 12, so long as that you're where it's perfect and not major or minor. So perfect 12 would also answer that question. So here, although the melodic interval is high to low, we always count from the lowest note up. So our first job is counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we know it's a sixth. And then we've got a key signature of B flat, E flat, A flat. So we're going from D to B flat because of the key signature. So D major would not have a B flat in it. D major would have a B natural. So D to B would be major, and then B flat, we've lowered it by a semitone, so we've gone from major to minor, and so this is a minor sixth. And there we go. So you just have to take your time with that and work through it a little stage at a time. So let's move on to this next question. And again, we're still thinking in intervals. Although it's a transposition question, it's still using those skills of working out intervals. So the following melody is written for a clarinet in B flat. So we're transposing it down a major second as it would sound at concert pitch. Remember, when a clarinetist plays a note C on their instrument, it actually sounds a B flat. So here we need to transpose everything down a major second to show what would actually be sounding. So we've got to put in a new key signature, and then we're going to have to adjust all of these accidentals accordingly. We can't just literally copy across sharps and flats because the key signature will change the way they are affected, so we rather need to think about raising or lowering by a semitone. So let's start off with the key signature. Here we've got a key signature of 1 sharp, so we'll count that as G major. Of course it could be E minor, but it's easy enough to just think of it in the major. The principle's the same because the accidentals will sort themselves out as we go along. So G major, so we've got to go down a major second. So down a major second because F to G is a full step, a major second. So we're now going into G, from G to F major. So we're now going to be thinking in F major, which has a key signature of B flat. So there's the first job done. Let's put the time signature in. So now, before I go dropping everything down a step, I'm just going to map out all the nuts and bolts, get everything in place, and I'm keeping everything directly aligned to their example. So we'll know they've given us 2 staves here, but it's more helpful to just stay on this first stave and keep everything exactly aligned, because if we kind of stretch out further, it's really easy to get lost, and we've more than enough to be thinking about without getting lost. And if you've got a nice sharp pencil, there's plenty of room here to write. So basically we're actually notching down everything from space to the next line, or from line to the next space. We're literally just dropping everything down a step, and then we'll be adjusting these as we go. So this drops down to an E. So we're going next door note up, next door note up, next door note up, next door note up. So here, this is a C that was a natural but has been raised by an accidental. This is a B flat because of the key signature, so in order to raise that, we're going to go from B flat to C. So they were C to C sharp. Because of our key signature, we're going from B flat to B natural. So we need to cancel that key signature by using a natural sign. That was raised it. So let's carry on now. So that D down a step will be C. So we've gone up a step. So I'm sort of double checking myself by looking at the relationship between the distance of these notes and then sort of double checking that I'm actually a step lower. So I'm coming at it 2 ways. So down a step takes us to the B again. Again, that C has been raised by an accidental, so we need to raise that flat to a natural, just like we did before. And then here it's actually gone back, so now to go back down a semitone we put the flat back in place. So down a step. So that same note now, this has been lowered from a B natural by adding a flat. So this is an A natural, and so we'll add a flat to make that a semitone lower. Next door note down. Same note. This has been lowered by a flat. This is an A that has been lowered by a flat. This is a G. So it's nothing in the key signature to change that. So it's G flat. We'll add a flat sign to lower it a semitone. Down a step. Down a step. Down a step. Now here, this was an F sharp that's been lowered by a natural sign. This is an E natural, and so we'll lower that a semitone by adding a flat sign. So we're just sort of correlating the steps accordingly. So down a step takes us to D, up a third takes us to F, down a step. Now here, that's gone back to the key signature. That natural has been raised back to the key signature, so that flat is going to be raised by a natural to put everything back to the key signature. So now up a third, that was flattened, and now we're going to cancel that flat with a natural sign. Down a step, up a third, and then 1, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, tied. There we go. So that's the heavy thinking done. All we've got to do now is put the stems in, and so of course because we've repositioned these notes we may find we might have to change the direction of the stems. Let's see. So this is on its own, these are beamed together, all of these are below the middle line, this one can go either way, so they can all go up, this one can come down, these can go either way, so I'm just going to come down. However, this has gone below the middle line now, so we need to just flip those stems upwards. So this is a group of 4. And then this is a group of 4. This is a group of 2. There we go. And it's not absolutely necessary to pop in all the articulation marks and so on because we are being tested on our transposition. So if time is running short in your exam, you can just leave it like that. So that's the end of that question, and we'll look at the next question in the next video. I do hope that's helping you. I hope it's benefiting your studies. I hope that you're enjoying it. I certainly am. If you can give me a like, that would be really fab, and please do subscribe to my channel to keep updated. Please do visit sharonbill.com and make use of all of the resource and information that's available to help you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.